I'm Jim Whalen. I'm from Machias. And I know about being married to a Frenchman because my grandmother was from Ottawa and she couldn't speak any English. And my grandfather was from Burlington, Vermont, and he couldn't speak any French. And somehow they had 5 kids. So I don't know how it happened, but my Nana was something else. I want to underline something that is a base for Washington County. And the base for Washington County is the model is what goes on in Washington County is much like what happens in a shopping mall. And you can't have a shopping mall with a bunch of small stores unless you have some anchor stores. So you've got to have a Macy's, you've got to have a JCPenney. If you don't have those, you got to have a Dick's. If you don't have those, then the Starbucks is going to wither, and all these little bookstores and jewelry stores are not going to make it. And very important to the success and to the prosperity of Washington County are people coming in, retirees, and they bring money. They bring money because they're at the age of their, or at the end of their career, they've retired, somehow they've seen this part of Maine in travels, and they decide they want to live here. And one of our major problems is that no one gets through life unscathed. So when they come here, they've got a set of medical stories and medical needs. And if we can't provide their medical needs, then they might look at the place, but they move on. And when they move on, they take their whole change that they were going to use to build a house with them, and we are left with this impoverished, isolated population. This is the last part of the coast of Maine that hasn't been developed. If you think about it, you go up and down the coast, everybody's got something going, and then there's Washington County. And the fact that somebody from central Maine comes up here is phenomenal. You know, like, okay, did you have a green card to get in here? So there's got to be a real dedication to specifically improving our hospital. It used to be a full-service hospital. Now it is not. We routinely have to send people off to Bangor. And imagine if you're from Eastport and you're a retired engineer, so you know the difference between any old MRI and any old radiologist and Bangor. So I have to tell people, you know, they ask me. I don't tell them, you want your MRI? Yes, I want it in Bangor. So they're willing to travel the 2 hours. It's really not fair. And one of my very intense patients was a retired professor of political science from GW in Washington. He retired up here. He was Polish. A wonderful rhododendron garden on Beals Island. And he died when he crashed into a tree coming from Bangor to Ellsworth after a doctor's visit. That's intense for me, you know, it's unacceptable. So this is where my rant is. I'm not, I know our place in society. I know where we are. I've been here 32 years. And I just know that we have to do something about that. We have a college, and the college is improving. That's doing greater and greater. We have the college in Calais, which has taken off. So there's an anchor store. But we need both the Calais Hospital and the Machias Hospital to serve the needs of people who have retired, people who are looking at this place to start a business. How can you start a business if the first thing you tell your employees is, well, if you want to see a pediatrician, or you want to see a cardiologist for your kid, or you got to go to Bangor. Well, why move to Machias? Why move to Eastport? So we have to have those services. And Marie's father is a case in point, where, things get out of hand here. And her father, just outside this place, was 82 years old, retired fisherman, left the hospital, and was gang tackled by 3 police cruisers, bruised all over, returned to the hospital, and I won't give you the whole, I know all the details because I talked to Marie and her father for 3 hours, but I won't give you the whole detail because it's not especially nice. But that kind of behavior needs to stop. We need to stop it and make sure that it doesn't happen. And in all fairness to her father, who's retired, why would he want to live here and add, fuel to the fire? The poor man had his belongings stolen when he was busy trying to get better. And he was back and forth to this doctor, that doctor. Finally, he got a pacemaker in Bangor, but it took a long way around Robbins Barn to have that happen. So we got to stop this. We got to short-circuit it. And I just appeal to you to just think about that in terms of services for retarded children. We just finally got one pediatrician. I know in Lewiston you probably had, Dr. Tan just relocated from here to Lewiston. So we lose somebody, and you people down there gain somebody. And what do we get? We net import people with drug problems. I've raised 4 children here, and 3 of them are not, one's still in college, but the other 3 there's nothing for them to stay here. They're not lobster fishermen. They don't know how to dig clams. They went to college. And why? I miss them, they miss me, but life moves on. And I understand Northern New England. I'm almost finished. Northern New England, most of the kids will move away, but not all the kids who've accomplished something. So that's yes.
I can tell you, Jim, that one of the 2 of the things that the governor has been very vocal about is energy costs in Maine. And the next legislative session, he has said he's going after removing pensions on retirees to try to encourage people who do have a little bit of a nest egg, who'd like to invest it, bring that back to Maine. So that is high on his agenda.
I like the governor, despite the fact that he's French, but I understand the French, okay? And having lived in Paris for 6 months, so I really understand him. But I do support everything your husband's going after. I don't know about that mural, but I never saw it. Thank you.